I'm glad you're here at Beyond 60 Stories, where every life has a story to tell. Let me share something that has stayed with me a few days ago. A close friend of mine, a 67-year-old woman who has always been calm, independent, and grounded, sat beside me in silence longer than usual. When she finally spoke, her voice was unsteady. She said, "I didn't expect this at my age, but I think I'm falling in love again, and it scares me. It feels like the stability I worked so hard for is starting to loosen." In that moment, I realized something important. Falling in love after 60 is not the same as it was in our younger years. It is no longer about excitement or chasing a dream. It is about vulnerability, risk, and the quiet fear of losing the balance you spent decades building. At this stage of life, routine helps us maintain our peace. Independence is hard-earned. And yet love can arrive unexpectedly, moving through your life like a slow, powerful wave, comforting at first, but capable of shifting everything beneath it. Today, I want to discuss the unseen dangers of love after the age of 60. Stay with me, because understanding them may help you protect the life you've already built in your heart along with it. If this reflection resonates with you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Beyond 60 Stories. This channel is a place for honest conversations about love, independence, and the later chapters of life. Now, before we talk about how love can enrich life after 60, we need to look closely at the first hidden danger that almost no one warns you about. Danger 1. The illusion of last chance. A quiet morning often tells the truth better than any dramatic moment. The house wakes up slowly, coffee brews, the news hums softly in the background. The calendar on the fridge is already full of doctor appointments, birthdays, and reminders you've learned to keep just to stay steady. Life after 60 is not empty. It is structured, deliberate, and carefully held together by habits that took years to form. And yet beneath that order, many people carry a quiet fear they rarely say out loud. After 60, the deepest fear is no longer heartbreak. It is the fear that there may not be another chance. The mind begins to whisper things late at night when the lights are off and the house feels too still. If this doesn't work out, what then? If I let this go, will anyone ever come again? That thought alone can tighten the chest. It creates a sense of urgency that feels real, even when nothing is actually running out. This is how the illusion forms. Love starts to feel like a closing door rather than an open choice. People move faster than they normally would. They ignore the small discomforts they would once have paid attention to. They say yes to things that make them uneasy, not because they want to, but because they are afraid of ending up alone. Decisions that should take time are suddenly made in weeks. Commitments that deserve reflection are rushed through with hope instead of clarity. This pattern appears again and again, not because people lack wisdom, but because fear disguises itself as realism. It convinces you that time is against you even when it isn't. In this emotional scarcity, we begin to accept situations we would once have walked away from. Boundaries soften, warning signs fade into the background. Discomfort is reframed as the price of companionship. The truth, however, is quietly unsettling. Much of the pressure felt after 60 is not rooted in reality but in fear. Fear narrows perception. It turns patience into panic. And when fear is guiding love, the danger rarely announces itself loudly. It arrives softly, wrapped in urgency, preparing the ground for the next, even subtler risk that follows. Danger 2. When desire becomes a dangerous anchor. Touch returns quietly at this stage of life. It might begin with a hand resting a little longer on your arm, a warm body beside you on the couch, or the simple comfort of being held again after years of sleeping alone. For many people over 60, physical closeness has been missing for a long time. Not just intimacy, but the feeling of being wanted, chosen, and alive in someone else's presence. When it comes back, it can feel overwhelming in the most convincing way. The body responds immediately. Chemistry floods in fast and strong, creating a sense of closeness that feels undeniable. Pleasure blends with relief. Loneliness softens. The nervous system relaxes. Everything inside says, this must mean something important. This must be love. Yet what's happening is often not love itself, but the powerful release of a need that has been starved for years. This is where the danger quietly takes hold. Desire is intense, but intensity is not the same as safety. Physical closeness can accelerate emotional attachment long before trust, compatibility, or shared values have had time to reveal themselves. Decisions start being made from sensation instead of reflection. Living arrangements, financial sharing, and lifelong promises begin to feel reasonable far too quickly, simply because the body feels good. For many people after 60, desire carries an added layer of pressure. There is an unspoken fear of losing attractiveness, of no longer being seen as desirable. That fear can push people to tolerate behavior they would never have accepted before. Disrespect gets minimized, emotional inconsistency gets excused, exhausting dynamics are endured, just to keep the feeling of being wanted alive. Desire slowly shifts from something nourishing into something binding. Sex and physical connection are not the enemy, they are deeply human needs. The danger appears only when desire becomes the anchor holding you in place, keeping you tied to a relationship that drains more than it gives. A healthy bond allows desire to flow freely without demanding sacrifice of dignity, clarity, or peace. If this part of the story feels familiar, you're not alone. Many people listening have faced this confusion between connection and chemistry. If you feel comfortable, share in the comments what physical closeness represents to you at this stage of life. Your reflection may help someone else feel less alone in theirs. Understanding desire is essential. But another danger often hides just beneath it. The next one doesn't come from the body at all. It comes from the quiet ache that appears when the house feels too empty. Danger 3. Confusing loneliness with love. Evenings tend to stretch longer after 60. The light fades earlier, the house grows quieter, and familiar sounds slowly disappear. Children have their own lives now. Old routine change. Friends move away or pass on. What remains is often a silence that feels heavier than it used to. Loneliness at this age doesn't arrive dramatically. It settles in gently, like a draft you stop noticing until it's always there. For many people, this loneliness follows major life shifts. A long marriage ends, a partner is lost, a home that once felt full now echoes differently. The days still function, errands get done, meals are remembered to be cooked, but something vital feels missing. Not excitement, not passion, but the simple sense of being seen, being listened to, being recognized as a living, feeling person. When someone new enters during this phase, the effect can be profound. They ask questions, they remember details, they laugh at your stories, they sit across from you and truly listen. That attention creates relief. The chest loosens, the mind quiets. For the first time in a while, you don't feel invisible, and that relief feels so good, so stabilizing that the brain rushes to label it as love. This is the dangerous confusion. Loneliness creates hunger. Any nourishment feels extraordinary when you've been starved. The warmth of connection gets magnified, not because the bond is deep, but because the absence was painful. Emotional comfort becomes romantic, meaning presence becomes destiny. The mind fills in the rest of the story before reality has a chance to catch up. The problem isn't the connection. Human beings need connection at every age. The problem appears when one person becomes the sole remedy for emptiness, when all comfort, validation, and emotional regulation start flowing through a single relationship. The foundation quietly shifts toward dependence. Love begins carrying weight. It was never meant to carry. Healthy love adds to an already supported life. It does not replace friendships, purpose, routine, or self-trust. Loneliness is healed through many forms of connection, not just romance. When romance becomes the only source of relief, the relationship becomes fragile, pressured, and quietly unbalanced. Recognizing this difference requires honesty, not self-criticism. Many people fall into this trap simply because they are human and hurting. But clarity begins the moment you ask whether you are choosing someone because they fit your life or because they temporarily fill a void. That question leads naturally into a harder truth, one that surfaces when emotions and resource collide, and the stakes become far more tangible in the next danger. Danger 4: financial and emotional predation. Money becomes quieter after 60, but it becomes heavier, not because there is always a lot of it, but because what exists now represents a lifetime of effort, a paid-off home, a pension check that arrives like clockwork, savings meant to bring peace, not worry. Alongside that stability often sits emotional vulnerability, the kind that grows after loss, change, or long periods of self-reliance. This combination is far more common than people like to add at this stage of life. Financial conversations feel different. They are no longer abstract plans for the future, but protections for the present, medical care, independence, not becoming a burden on your children. So when a new relationship enters, blending emotional closeness with financial proximity can happen subtly. It might start with small gestures, covering a bill, helping out just this once, sharing access out of convenience, not intention. The challenge appears when affection and obligation begin to blur. Requests are framed gently. Stories of hardship are shared at vulnerable moments. You are told how much your support means, how no one else understands them the way you do. Slowly, responsibility shifts. What began as kindness starts feeling like duty, and questioning it brings guilt, not clarity. This is emotional pressure wearing the mask of love. Real care does not punish you for wanting boundaries. It does not question your loyalty because you protect what you worked a lifetime to build. The moment finances become a test of love, something fundamental has already gone wrong. What makes this danger especially painful is how quietly it operates. Many people do not realize they're being manipulated until they feel trapped. Embarrassment keeps them silent. Fear of judgment keeps them from asking for help. And loyalty, once a strength, becomes the chain that holds them in place. If you've ever felt uneasy about money in a relationship but pushed the feeling aside to keep the peace, you are not alone. Many people listening have faced moments like this. If you feel comfortable, share in the comments whether financial boundaries feel harder or easier to hold after 60. Your experience may help someone else recognize their own. Love should never require you to shrink, hide, or apologize for protecting your stability. Emotional safety and financial respect belong together. When one is missing, the relationship quietly shifts into something else entirely. This danger, however, rarely exists on its own. It often connects to an even deeper disruption, one that affects not just you, but the entire structure of the life you've spent decades building. Danger 5: and love dismantles. The life you built? Life after 60 is not a blank page. It is a finished book with weight in its pages. Daily rhythms are set, mornings follow a familiar pace. Friends, neighbors, children, and grandchildren form a quiet network that gives life shape and meaning. Independence is guided by awareness rather than urgency. At this stage of life, solitude that protects your dignity is far kinder than attachment that slowly erodes it. The right kind of love will never make you feel smaller, poorer, or cut off from the people who matter most. It will move slowly, respect your boundaries, and gently weave itself into the life you've already built. Not tear it apart. Real love after 60 does not arrive like a storm. It arrives like light, warm enough to comfort you, never strong enough to burn what you've spent a lifetime creating. If this reflection spoke to you, please like this video and subscribe to Beyond 60 Stories. We're here to walk these later chapters together with clarity, warmth, and hope.